Okay. I'm presenting my sea otter research paper presentation, except I'm redoing it because the one I did for English, it's okay. It's just that I didn't get to over explain like I usually like to. So I'm making my own version where I can over explain, but not like drastically, just like a little bit. Like I just want to have like a little fun facts that are very fun and very cute. Okay, my my research paper was on sea otter reintroduction in translocation. Wow! And the first points I'm going to be going over are in favor of sea otter reintroduction. So the first question I wanted to ask is, why do people want reintroduction in the first place? Or I guess not ask, I guess present. One of the biggest reasons why people want reintroduction is their ecological importance, because like I've said 10 million times, they are keystone species, meaning that if they are in the habitat that they're usually in, then that habitat will end up degrading. And uh, despite this, sea otters are known to restore these degraded habitats, which is why this trait about them makes them really favorable for like reintroduction, because uh the kelp that they're able to restore is capable of sequestering like tons of carbon, which is really good given our current situation. And also it would also just be good for the local ecology, because kelp is the backbone of the kelp forest. It's in name. So all the little critters would come back, and that'd be really nice. Probably for the fishing community too, depending on what species they would be harvesting. Oh, there is this is the thing I wasn't able to add in the original presentation. There's a problem with this. Like there's a problem because sometimes the urchin barrens will be so degraded to the point where the urchins are starved because they have nothing else to graze on, and then their meat or their gonads, they'll be too small to eat, or to eat for the otters and for humans. So when sea otters are possibly reintroduced in the places where like these urchins are completely starved, it's likely that they won't even touch them, because they have to meet such a high calorie quota to make up for how much heat or how much calories they burn throughout the day. So they won't even like they aren't gonna waste their time eating something so small, and they'd rather just eat something a lot more meaty. And that's why that's where urchin harvesting comes in, like in like human urchin harvesting. But I'm not gonna go into that because that's me. It would I'd go too off topic. Okay, the other reason why people want reintroduction is because sea otters are very economically beneficial, because sea otters have pretty privilege, and they're also on the endangered species list. Like they already get like how do I say it? Like they have like nepo baby points for being mammals already, because mammals are already like really popular. But also their behaviors and their appearance are just like really charming. People think they're cute. So of course they want to see good happen to them. There's already a lot of supporters for the reintroduction projects because of that. But also because of their popularity, they bring in a lot of money through ecotourism, especially to towns like Morro Bay, Monterey Bay, or Monterey, Moss Landing. Just like any place that has sea otters on the coast, you would like they like ecotourism. Like they bring in a lot of ecotourism, and and that's good for money. Good for money. Very good. Before I get into their like the translocation project target areas, I wanted to go over really quick just like sea otter distribution currently. I got this picture from an article in 2015, so it's a little inaccurate. There should be a little bit of green in Japan, because there's a small, like maybe like 50 individual sea otter population in Hokkaido, and they're unique in that they eat tunicates, which hasn't been observed in the other populations, which I think is really cool, because tunicates are really like, from what I've heard, they're like really rough and leathery, so they're really hard to chow down on. I think seeing like the the differences in the subspecies is really cool, because they have a really tiny genetic pool. Okay, here are the current areas of interest. It's just San Francisco and Oregon right now because I think for the projects they're probably going to be using southern sea otters, and I'm thinking this because in the presentations that they where they talk about these projects, they like mention the surrogate programs a lot, and obviously the surrogate programs are in California, so it's likely that they're going to be using the Californian subspecies, and these areas are pretty close to the small area of Californian sea otters that we have right now. Um, Oregon's technically more close to the northern subspecies, but the northern subspecies in Washington is actually from another translocation project. I think those otters came from Amchitka Island. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that one ended up succeeding in. Did I say it happened in the 70s? It happened in the 70s with many. Wait. No, that's my line. That's my line for my English project. I don't have to say that anymore. There's problems. One of them is human activity. I don't know if it's the biggest problem, but it's definitely an issue. Like especially with other marine mammals. I know in La Jolla there's like a lot of problems with people like messing with the sea lions, but this is like specifically the sea otters, especially with San Francisco being one of the target areas. It's going to be hard to find good places for relocation of these otters without having to deal with too much human disturbance. There's actually a nonprofit. I think CSUMB has like a service learning thing with them, and it's making me really jealous, and I want to be there already. But like they have a nonprofit called Sea Otter Savvy, and they mostly just talk about like minimizing human disturbance with sea otters, and I think it's really cool. And their volunteering opportunities are really cool. It's just citizen science, but I don't care. I think it's really cool. Uh, Human disturbance has been like possibly correlated with past translocation project failures because sea otters tend to swim away in these projects if they don't like die in the process, and scientists think that human interaction might have to do with it, like not completely, but it probably could have some contribution to their like them leaving. Another issue, which is like this one's actually like the biggest one, is conflict with the fishing community because, like I said before, sea otters have a high calorie quota that they need to meet daily. So they're always like they're really good at bringing these populations down of many invertebrates, and that's what makes them such good keystone predators. But also, because they can bring these populations down so effectively, it puts a lot of pressure on people who like fish for the same prey, and that's what makes some people like kind of iffy with these projects because uh, if the projects succeed, then like they're probably gonna be experiencing some pressures with like or like some competition with these otters, and it'll put some pressure on them, especially those that like depend on them for money or food. The final issue or final issues that come with these projects is just it's just funding and past project issues because uh most of the like if the sea otters didn't die before they even got to the place where they were relocated, the main issue with these projects like the main issue that came with the projects failing was just them swimming away because the territorial sea otters they're not as territorial as their other weasel cousins, but they are like moderately territorial. So they like in the ones that failed, like the Oregon project, they just swam away from the from the areas where they inhabited that they were relocated to, and there was nothing wrong with the habitat. They just swam away. They just swam back to like the areas where they came from, and uh that might have to do like it might just have to do with their behavior, which is something we can't change, but it also could have been like human disturbance. Like that human disturbance could have had some part into that, and because these projects have such a low success rate, it's likely that multiple trials will have to be done. Maybe not multiple, maybe like a couple, and that takes a lot of money out of the pocket because a lot of technology goes into these kinds of projects, and probably even more now since the last projects that were conducted were in like the maybe like the 70s. So my research question that I put for my paper was, is sea otter reintroduction worth the trouble? Whoa! And I chose this as my question because I wanted an excuse to research the part of the like the stance on the projects where like they're iffy about translocation, because a lot of times when I see people talk about like that opposing stance online, there's like it's usually like people like being mad which is like, yeah, I get that, but like also like I understand like the importance of seafood to people on the coast, and I wanted to delve into that very much, very very much. Sorry, I keep pressing the things too fast, but this is my outline. It's just like I had to go over this whole thing for my like my English presentation, but now I don't have to. Oh, actually I want to explain one thing. What One of the things I forgot to put in my presentation was uh like people suggesting that relocation might be needed for sea otters to like expand at all, because Californian sea otters are able to like expand range on their own, but sea otter, like for Californian sea otters, the largest cause of death for them is shark bite mortality, and it's bites. Like they aren't predating on them. They just supposedly mistakenly bite the otters, and it usually ends up killing them because because of hypothermia or blood loss, and usually it's male otters or immature otters that end up getting caught into these bites, which are the ones that are usually expanding the range of the population. So did I also mention that the seasons for shark bite mortality is getting longer? Like it was shorter before, but now it's like even longer. So scientists are saying that like if we want to see otters like expand their range, we're gonna have to like get involved because they can't do it on their own right now, given the circumstances. Okay, anyways, I'm done. Is my work cited? Thank you.